Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you again. So last video we talked a very small aspect of very ancient Egyptian and Greek philosophy. Today let's go to the Far East, to the land of the rising sun, Japan. Probably when you hear Japan, you think first of Pokemon, Nintendo, anime, Godzilla, the atomic bomb, which was one of the horrors of the 20th century. And although that's true, but however, when we look into their past, we see another different society. We see a land where people fought for honor, respected their Shinto gods, and follow a profound path towards a better life. Not to say that in modern Japan this doesn't happen, because in a way, modern Japan has adapted these ancient philosophies and ancient ways of living, and that is why Japan is one of the greatest economic powers in Asia and the rest of the world. But we cannot understand modern Japan if we don't know about their way of living. Which brings me to today's video, Bushido, the way of the samurai. The samurai class emerged in Japan during the 12th century. As you may notice, the samurai had particular armor made out of beautifully crafted cloth and leathers. The color variation of their armor depended on the clan they belonged to. Samurais were the warriors and served their shogun, the powerful leaders that controlled territories. What can we learn from these warriors that we can apply today? A quick side note though, Japan had one of the longest times of medieval histories of any other civilization, because they stuck in feudalism and medieval time from the 12th century until the 19th century. Most countries in Europe ended their feudal period in the 15th century after the Renaissance, but Japan stretched that out because of the Edo period. In order to become a samurai in feudal Japan, you had to practice a code of honor. This was called Bushido, literally meaning the way of the warrior. This code didn't just say that you have to die honorably in battle, because it wasn't limited to warfare. For the samurai, the code was also a way of life. Bushido is not a religion. It didn't say that you have to pray to Amaterasu or her brother Susanoo. Bushido is not Shintoism nor a Buddhist scripture. It is a philosophy based on 7 profound and universal virtues. And these are: number 1, rectitude. It is having the right judgment and to act within your capability of reason. To die when the time is right, to strike when it's time to strike. Courage is what's doing what is right regardless of the situation. I don't have to stress the fact that this is something that's really hard to do, right? But it's what prevents us from falling into chaos. Number 3, benevolence. The power to offer well-being and love to others. It is one of the most important virtues. Politeness, being respectful towards your neighbor. Honesty, telling the truth regardless of the situation. Honor, the most important one. Honor was very important for the samurai. If they lost their honor, most of them opted to commit seppuku, a very painful way of suicide. One of the many reasons that the samurai lost their honor may be because they were defeated in battle. To avoid being taken prisoner, this happened a lot during World War II. In many ways, the samurai felt ashamed. They said that this was too great of a burden to bear, so they preferred to commit suicide. In modern Japan, actually Japan has one of the highest rates of suicide in the world, so we can see how Bushido is still influencing Japan today. 7th and final principle, loyalty. During the feudal era of Japan, being loyal to the shogun, the emperor, and the daimyos was the most important trait. Now, these universal values have attracted the attentions of many Westerners, including myself. In our modern age, you don't need to be a samurai in order to apply these the virtues of Bushido. You just have to understand their meaning, take them to heart, and apply them to your own life. There is no doubt that Bushido has influenced Japan during ancient times, but also modern times as well. And not to mention many Westerners that have been attracted to this philosophy of life, because Bushido it's very profound. It's appealing to a sense that is missing in Western society. That is a sense of honor. Bushido can be a very refreshing point of view from Eastern ways of thinking that can profoundly affect Western thinking, because the West is lacking very profound aspects in their own lives. If you look at the essence of Western teaching, it is embedded in Judeo-Christian values. These values, if you look at their essence, they're very profound as well, just like Bushido. In Judaism you have the Kabbalah, and in Christianity you have the Gnostics. But the fact is that the church has twisted and corrupted these values, and that's why people don't believe in them anymore and are turning their eyes and their mind to the east through these philosophies, and even sometimes to their religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism. If you're interested in learning more about Bushido, I recommend these 3 books. Number 1, Bushido, The Way of the Samurai, written by a very respected samurai warrior during the 17th century called Tsunetomo Yamamoto. This samurai had a very interesting life because when the Edo period started, Japan was at peace. So the samurai dedicated themselves to cultivate their spirit. Tsunetomo Yamamoto, after his master, his shogun, died, went to the mountain and became a hermit, and that is where he reflected about his life and what it meant to be a samurai. It's a very insightful book if you're interested. Hagakure, which is another book written by the same samurai, Tsunetomo Yamamoto, and the most modern one called Bushido, The Soul of Japan by Inazo Nitobe. Inazo Nitobe lived during the 20th century as Japan was still developing itself into an industrialized country. Inazo took the samurai ethic and applied it into a modern context. If you're looking to apply Bushido in your daily life, I highly suggest that you start with Bushido, The Soul of Japan. Alright guys, that will be all for today's video. If you have any suggestions about topics that you would like me to talk about, let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. And I will see you very soon. Have a good one.